Yes, people, back with Monday Night Madness. Well, it might be night for you, might be morning, might be evening. I don't know, but we're back again with the same old rubbish. Last week it was Bournemouth. This week it was it's Man City. Our expectations didn't change because we just played Man City. It's the way we lost yesterday. But we've been here before, and we know who 100% of the blame goes on. I'm going to leave this open. The panel's open today, man. I don't want to go for a monologue or anything like that because I don't know how you. I don't know. I just want to just quickly with you two. Yeah, I know Gianni's comes off quite like a. I don't know. I want to say cold, but he kind of like stern with it all, with the situation currently with the way we're playing. Doctor seems to be a bit more. He knows what's going on in it, so the emotions are just. This guy is not getting me. Me though, I was up last night thinking about things. I couldn't sleep properly. I woke up with the same thoughts about this game.
A lot of people couldn't. Normski couldn't. A couple guys from the UK hopped on my call-in show last night.
Oh, last night, yeah.
8 hours. Oh yeah,
6 hours long.
I was 6 hours. I was 6 hours long last night. Yeah,
that is some therapy. That is some therapy right there. Right there. Oops, what's happened? Am I still here?
You're still here. Yeah.
Wow. 6 hours.
Are you playing around with extra, like internet windows, on the side?
Yeah. Oh, probably. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we went. Doc, what time we log off? About 6 hours and 10 minutes last night.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah, and then we were also backstage for a good half hour as well after that.
Yeah,
that's your longest stream, isn't it? 6 hours.
Yeah, I've done 2 6-hour streams. I don't know if it's the longest one because I think the other one was 6.5 hours, but it's close.
Well, we're not doing that today, but yeah, that's crazy. So, people, this is open to you. I've told you how I felt about everything yesterday. It was a game that we had to win, in my opinion. And once again, we relied on 29.
You already know how that story ends. Like if you're relying on the
same old shit, different day.
It's a different day. Different day.
Old shit, different fucking day. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to be very blunt, and I'm going to get straight to the point because there is too much shit that we've been sugarcoating on this that needs to be addressed, right? First off, anybody who was arguing, because there was a lot of fucking people that tried saying that Kai Havertz should have started that game over Gyökeres because of pressing, that all them people who said that need to stop being Arsenal fans. Because all I've heard is to people like me and Dr. Seymour, when we criticize and say we need to fix up in certain areas, you're not allowed at the parade. You're not a real Arsenal fan. Go be a Spurs fan. And all this. And what does this yank know? Oh, another boring American talking ball, right? We went there for a draw. Whether anybody likes it or not, that team was set up for a draw. This motherfucker, brilliant idea was to substitute Noni Madueke, put Martinelli on the right side because his whole mind was blown that a press worked once in a while off of Donnarumma, who is historically known to be horrible with the ball at his feet. Cost PSG 2 Champions League runs with how bad he is at his feet. We've seen it before. We got the Kai Havertz goal, and he says, that's it. That's how we're going to win now. So now I'm going to set the team up to just press the goalkeeper and hope that we get lucky with another fucking goal. Brother, it's all bullshit. At the end of the day, you pull up to the Etihad to get your first trophy in 6 years because you fucked off the FA Cup. You fucked off the League Cup final because you showed up like pussies in that one. You went there to play for a draw. What did we say coming in? What do we say throughout the history of this sport? If you go in looking for a draw, 9 times out of 10, you lose. Because when you go to play for a draw, you have to score first or be lucky enough that it goes 0-0. Because once you're in that mode to play for a draw, it's hard to come out of it. We got lucky that Havertz got that goal. And the sadder thing is, if you watch that game, the 3 to 4 minutes right after we scored, City was not playing at the pace that they were playing up until they got the goal with Cherokee. They slowed the whole game down the next 4 minutes because they didn't expect us to hit them with a sucker punch and, like this typical manager, score a goal, retract, and defend. We didn't do anything to bother City after those first 3 minutes. We got a couple chances scattered throughout the game, and Havertz had the header at the end. Brother, Havertz has never shown up in the clutch. Anybody who still thinks Havertz shows up in the clutch, stop holding on to that one Champions League final goal. It's however many fucking years ago and hasn't happened since. This dickhead has fleeced 2 clubs. Do you know, I'm done with talking about just transfer fees because transfer fees don't tell the story. Kai Havertz is a £137.5 million player. Once he finishes his entire contract at Arsenal, he is a £137.5 million player. What the fuck does that bum do? Pressing. That's what we have been concerned. What have we said throughout the years? Coming into this year, we said we needed to buy Gyökeres or a number 9 for goals, right? That's what we've said about strikers, that we needed goals. The fact that the manager was more worried about pressing than actually going there and using his striker properly is bullshit. Your number 1 goal scorer for the season is on the bench and played 12 minutes. And the only reason why he got double-digit minutes is because there was 7 minutes of stoppage time. That's it. None of this entire situation makes any sense. It's over and done with, bro. This manager went all in on his favorites. That does not, yes, this ugly motherfucker right here. This motherfucker went all in, put all his chips down, and said, I'm going to go all in with a pair of deuces when there's already a pair of aces on the fucking table. So you already lost. This man doubled down with his shit players again, and they did the same thing that they always do, failed him when it's crunch time. This manager has never shown up when it's crunch time. This is a whole fallacy that people have come up with that they've bullshitted now going on 6 years. Every single year, this motherfucker has fucked up. I don't even know who that is.
No, Cecil's one of those, Arteta TV.
He's on AF. That's why I don't watch. That's why I don't watch AF TV, because I ain't got the time for stupidity right now.
And the sad thing is, I don't want to cut you off because I know that you're on one right now. Cecil knows better. As do the majority of folks on AF TV. But what they have done, they have sold out their values and they have sold out their support for this club for the for the paper, for a brown for a brown envelope, and folks like that. They either need to find a new club to support, or they need to revert back to factory settings, because what they're doing right now, they are grifting off this club, and we need to, and the time.
Martin Keown needs to be disowned. If any of you guys saw Talk Sport this morning with him and Simon Jordan, Martin Keown needs to be disowned. He is no longer.
I need to see that. What happened?
He is no longer a legend of the football club. He is a fucking retard. I'm telling you, that motherfucker, whenever Arteta gets kicked out of the house, them two shag one another. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done not pulling punches no more and being nice about this stupid shit, dude. This dude had the balls. Big up Boricua. This dude had the balls to say that it was an amazing performance yesterday and it was fine margins to why we lost. No, it wasn't, bro. No, it wasn't. You went into that game. You went into that game to go and freaking draw. You lost the game. You still won't call the manager out that he got the tactics wrong at the end of the day. You still won't call out that the players look like they've been absolutely ran through and aren't going to make it through these last 5 games of the year. And nobody wants to call him out for these injuries. Martin Keown tried talking about, well, our whole right side is missing. Well, why don't you talk about why the right side's missing? Better yet, why don't you tell your buddy manager, who's your secret lover, to come out and actually tell the truth of what's going on with these injuries? What's the Achilles situation? Since everybody keeps talking and linking that it sounds like it's an Achilles issue, what is it? Did he rupture it? Is he gone for a year? Are you waiting till the end of the season to then say, oh, guys, Eze ruptured his Achilles, guys, I need more time because now I'm without Eze for a year. Brother, the bullshit's got to stop. He has ran Bukayo Saka into the ground. He has ran Urian Timber into the ground. And whether anybody likes it or not, the uncomfortable conversation that now needs to come into play with this season is, who's actually going to stay here? Everybody's talking about, Arsenal this, Arsenal that. Brother, if you think that we're going to go and play like this again and go get another win, if this is the way that we're going to go now for him to try to make a run, then he's going to start Havertz, he's going to start Odegaard and play the same old pressing bullshit that still hasn't fucking won us a trophy at all. And that's going to be the difference, because now you got people coming out and saying, well, if we play like that the next 5 games, we could still beat City. City might have a mess up, or we still have a chance of beating City on goal differential. Brother, I've been saying it the whole time. As soon as these assholes dog walk fucking Burnley and they go ahead of us, they're not going to give the lead back up like we constantly did. They're not going to do that. They're not going to fucking do that. So the conversation today is, how much more damage is it okay for everybody big up static? How much more damage is okay to allow this manager to inflict onto the fan base, onto the players, and most importantly of all, onto the club? Because we are now in a situation where, once again, we are relying on other teams to pull us out of a fuck up that we caused ourselves. We are also in a situation now where if we do finish second, what part of this team do you really trust going into next season that's not already ran down through injuries, going to be already in the red zone for a lot of players coming back from this World Cup? And if we're being honest, how many of these players actually want to stay here? And the bigger point is, when are we all going to realize, for those that are the super positives, every fucking season this asshole has been here, outside of the FA Cup, has been a failure. Every season, this man misses the mark of what the goals are for the club, and all of a sudden, we rewrite the rule book of why this jagoff has got to stay at this fucking club. The FA Cup, he finished 8th. He got us into Europe because he won the FA Cup and he did his job and won the trophy. But let's all remember something. That's not his team. That's Unai Emery's semi-built team. The following year, he got us to 6th. What happened? Capitulates at the end of the season, same time as usual, and we fall out of 6th place and fall into 8th. No European football. The next season, this motherfucker gets us up to 3rd, fucks off the last 3-4 games of the year, and Conte Spurs jump over us and we go back to 5th. And then we're now on this possible 4 straight runs of bottling a fucking title and going into 2nd. So when are we going to finally call it that the manager has not lived up to expectations? He's the only checkbook manager that hasn't won a fucking trophy. What other manager has been handed this much amount of money and hasn't won a fucking trophy? That bald-headed dumb fuck prick at Manchester United won 2 fucking trophies with the shit squad and wasn't even given £1 billion. So when are we going to actually start calling shit for the way that it is? When are we at? Because now the immediate thing was afterwards is, oh, there's still Champions League. Brother, I'm telling you, it ain't happening the way people think. It's not going to happen the way people think. And the next 5 games of this season is going to make or break this entire season. You have our next 2 games are against teams that are competing for Europe. You have Newcastle and Fulham. Doesn't matter how far away they are from the drop, they're still competing for Europe with these last 5 games. You also have a little semifinal in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid that's in between those. And then if you get knocked out in the semifinal, you have to pick yourself up and win in a dogfight against West Ham. I'm sorry. I don't care about that performance yesterday. I don't see us winning in a dogfight with West Ham. So the question also comes into is where are these next points getting picked up? Because I think City's going to blow the doors off of Burnley, and I'll be honest with you, they're going to blow the doors off of every team they got left. They could give 2 shits about this right now. And I'll end it on this. Anybody who's still sticking up for this manager, all you got to say is one thing. The worst City team since the money has been pumped into this team over the last 16 years, the worst one on paper, player for player, is possibly going to win a domestic treble because we fucked up again. If they pull off a domestic treble, it is the worst fucking bottle job of all time. To talk about quadruple, lose everything, and these assholes win a fucking domestic treble. Not only that, if they win the domestic treble, we are no longer the 3rd biggest club in England. Manchester City will have passed us on trophies if they pull off this domestic treble. So stop sucking dick and believe in this bullshit fucking manager, because now you will have to readdress how you call Arsenal. Because you better hope, all these positive motherfuckers better hope that this 115 actually does happen. Because if it doesn't, it's blown up in our face again. That's all.
Not really much more you can add to that, because I mean, Gianni's pretty much nailed it on the head. I, for one, I don't take any pleasure, seeing our club the way that it is. I don't take any pleasure, seeing our club, go through the motions every single year, hearing the same shit over and over again. Oh, well, we'll be back next year. Oh, other teams will fall off. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do that, just to reach the same conclusion. I was saying yesterday on Gianni's stream, the era of grifting off this club is done. The era of people making a presence on social media is done. Their time on YouTube, and there are plenty of Arteta sexuals. Y'all know who I'm talking about, not just in our group chat, but just across the YouTube, landscape. All of these motherfuckers that have been making a dime off of this club, a club that they claim to support, while sucking off a manager, a loser novice one at that has spent over £1 billion to build his squad to still come up short. I've been saying it for time. No other manager, not only in football, but across any sport, across human history, no other manager has been given this amount of time, the amount of money, the amount of patience, the amount of unquestioned authority and support from a club and a fan base. Arteta has been given the keys to the club. He has been given more control than Wenger ever had. And we were complaining back in 2015, 2016, 2017, why Wenger has so much control and authority of the club when he has not been able to get over the line for the league. It was one of the reasons why we ended up forcing Arteta. Why we had forced Wenger out of the club, because he was not getting us over the line to win the league. It's not rocket science. We had demolished a fortress in Highbury and moved to the Emirates to compete with the likes of Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Those were the direct words, from Peter Hill Wood back in 2003, 2004. We all remember it. And we have gone on for so long without winning silverware that our fan base and the media, but mostly our fan base, have forgotten what it feels like to win the biggest honors and what it means to win the biggest honors. Because what they have been doing, especially under this fuckwad manager, they were doing it under Wenger as well. They were saying, oh, top 4 is a trophy. Now these idiots have recycled and say, oh, well, like we're climbing up the table.
We're just competing.
We're just competing. 5th to 2nd, that's an improvement. Like look where we were when Arteta took over. Look where we were when Arteta took over. We were not competing. Now we're competing. Big fella, we've spent over £1 billion. Of course we should be competing. It's the fucking base minimum for the amount of resources that you've been given. You fucking half-wit. Of course we should be competing. Of course we should be.
What do you think they're going to be saying at the end of this season? Last year it was, we still made progress because of the Champions League. So if we get knocked out in the semifinal of the Champions League, come second again and no trophies, that means stagnation now, right? Now it's the best time to sack the manager. Why are they already coming to this guy's defense? Funny enough, the defense is already being thrown up there for the injuries again. No, sorry. The injuries was the excuse last year. Again, just real quick, Doc. I don't even mean to cut across you.
Good.
Last year, when we blew that 2-0 lead against Aston Villa and we walked away with a 2-2 draw, that press conference, that cocksucker came out here and said, I wish I could see any other manager do what I'm doing with this squad with this amount of injuries.
Who said that? Arteta.
Yeah.
Arteta, go back and watch it. We're not holding no more punches. We're exposing all this shit. Revisionist history is not history. He came out and said that he would like to see a manager do better than what he's doing with all the injuries. The very next question was, what do you make about the injuries? He goes, well, we knew that we came into this season very thin. That was the excuse for Liverpool walking the league last year from February onwards, that if it wasn't for the injuries, Arsenal would be involved. We spent another $250 million this fucking summer. He got the biggest squad that he's ever had, and the injuries are still a problem. Why? Because he still hasn't rotated and ran players into the ground. Everything that this guy touches turns to shit.
Johnny, I want to ask you about this then quickly, yeah? Because you just said he spent $1 billion.
Over $1 billion.
What about this then? Take off over $1 billion, and what's the difference here? Did you have to buy Madueke?
£90 million is the difference. Noni Madueke is a £90 million player. Like I said, we're not doing transfer fees anymore because the transfer fees people aren't losing their minds over enough. Noni Madueke is a £90 million player if he sees out his entire contract. He doesn't deserve 20. He doesn't deserve to be a £20 million player. Ethan Wanyeri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, as much as I don't want them to go because they're Hale End Academy kids and I want the academy to flourish and get playing minutes in this team, for the betterment of the player, those kids should go. Bukayo Saka's career is ruined. Yeah.
Get that off the screen. Get it off. Get it off.
Bukayo Saka's career is ruined, and it could be the same way with Timber. Because I honestly, you guys may remember more than me. I don't remember the last time a manager got defensive, angry, and loud in a press conference when people called him out for hiding players' injuries. The man's losing it, bro. The man knows it's over with. The man's already cracked under pressure. And you saw the biggest definition that the team is with him with cracking under pressure was Gabriel doing that stupid shit against Holland. He's lucky he didn't get a fucking red card in that, because we've seen that red card come a ton of times across all the leagues when you lash out like that. He's lucky that red card didn't come, because if we lost Gabriel to a red card for this final run-in, it's already over with. It's already over with. That would have sealed the deal even more. But, brother, Arteta needs to Arteta died on the hill with Odegaard and Havertz. He put all his chips in the middle of the table yesterday and lost. He bet it all and lost. him choosing to send Ethan Nwaneri on loan because of a fallout between him and Martin Odegaard, and he backed Odegaard over Nwaneri and said, I won't keep Nwaneri here so Odegaard can stay fucking content and everything else. Look at what that has cost us. Ethan Nwaneri is a difference maker to where maybe some of these points that we've dropped aren't gone. Sorry, Doc. I went on a little rant.
No, it was well deserved. And look, you're not saying anything wrong either. Look, the only thing I can say, before we let Gunnar Rieken in is that, much like Gianni, I'm also done. I'm done pulling punches. I've been very polite, and I'll still be very polite, but I am done mollycoddling these Arteta sexuals that have been underwriting this mediocrity at this club for the last 6.5 years. Like, they have been one of the primary focal points why Arteta still has a job. Because they continue to talk the fucking loudest. They continue to talk the most easily disprovable nonsense. And every time when there is a result like this against City, they are fucking silent. And I'm talking about you, Cape. I'm talking about you, Steven. And I'm talking about you, every other Arteta sexual, on YouTube, whether it's fucking Yigal, whether it's fucking Rory talks nonsense, whether it's fucking Jess from She Knows Fuck All About Arsenal, whether it's fucking, Highbury Sophie, all of these fucking lemons. You're done. It is long overdue for your asses to find yourself back into the workforce, working behind a cash register at McDonald's, at fucking TK Maxx, doing landscaping, working at a bowling alley, at a fucking ice skating rink. I don't care. But your social media career, making a living, grifting off of this club is fucking done. It is done when Arteta is sacked, because any last shred of credibility that you have had is out the fucking window. And the fact that, and the fact again,
bring the fire, guys. This is the fire he showed up with.
You know what? I actually have a few light bulbs on handy that I actually need to replace because Arteta fucking took all of mine. So I'm not, I'm only calling a spade a spade. We've been hearing for time, especially since I've been saying, since the onset of the season that we're not winning anything. Oh, you have an agenda. Oh, be patient. Oh, have some faith in the team. Oh, back the journey. Oh, enjoy the journey, right? That's what Cape was saying in our chat, right? You have to enjoy this. You have to live through this. I have lived through 2 decades of this shit. I am sick and tired of it. The only agenda that I have, because again, people talk about agendas. There's only 2 agendas going on here, right? There's agenda A that, that people like myself, like Gianni, like Gunnar Rieken, probably even like yourself, Abs, we don't give a shit who the manager is or who the players are. If they are good enough as a unit to get over the line, that is when they will deserve the accolades and the respect to be lionized, as winners. And then there's option B. Option B is the agenda that, that despite our results, our managers is one of the best managers the sport has ever seen, and our players are some of the best players to ever grace the pitch. And I'm sorry, but reality does not coincide with that narrative of option B. So again, unless people want to show up here and to show their face and still suck off this manager after time and time again, finishing second, being bridesmaids, then go right ahead. But until then, your football IQ and everything that you stand for with respect to football has already been fucking disproven. It's done. Either find a new narrative, join us in reality, or find a different club to support.
Rieken in the building. Good evening or good evening. What's good? We had a good long chat last night, man. We went through everything. We spoke about, the result. We spoke about the players. We spoke about the manager. How are you feeling today? Because last night was rough for me, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
I want to show you guys something. I probably should have said this, but I want to show you. It's on my phone. Can you see that?
What's that?
I
What
see
is
a
it?
car.
Well, that's not too clear, my G. I can't really
No,
see.
what is it?
Hold on. Let me hit the
Little
adjust.
PC.
There you go. Can you see that?
Was that
That's my car.
Is that
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no,
That's my Puerto Rican flag.
This one put a fucking bottle underneath your fucking wind wiper.
When I say things like I gotta hold L's left and right,
Easy.
I ain't joking, bro. Yeah, bro, I'm not joking.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like when I gotta hold L's in person, yeah, bro, I gotta go to work. Right? The bus driver dropped me off, look me in my eye, and I come back to go off of work, and I see that on my car. I know it was him.
Oh my,
Bro.
that's next
Like
level,
Michael
bro.
Corleone, I know it was you. I know exactly who it was, but I gotta hold that. Right? And you know what? That made my day though, right? For me, it should be a terrible thing. It made my day because I feel like I'm part of a community of people that will banter me and people that know football, right? I always try to see the positives in things. The negative bit is this ain't the first time. I should get used to this.
Last either.
I should get used to this, right? And I sat here and I left my kits up from the weekend. I sat here, I was in all red like a goofball. I had the beanie, I had the scarf, which isn't around anymore, right? And I said, please, don't embarrass us. And Arsenal found a way to embarrass us without looking like we were embarrassed. But let's be honest, guys. Let's be 100% honest. We lost 2-0. Kai Havertz, but that's the fluke goal. Either any one of us could have scored that goal. He just put a foot out and it deflected. It could have gone anywhere. That's not skill. That's luck. We lost 2-0. We got our pants. And in the last 2 times we played City, we got our pants pulled down 4-1. Right? 4-1, bro. Like, I'm embarrassed, bro. I'm embarrassed. Like, you know, I'm out of words. You know, Waffle came on there last night and I tried to rationalize, you know, and say how I feel. Bro, I'm going through DABDA, all right? You guys know the stages of grief? I was in denial. Surely we can't bottle this. Surely. I had anger when we dropped points against Liverpool and we dropped points against Wolves. Bargaining. You know, we can still get something. Maybe if we get 1 win, we'll still get over the line. Depression. I'm there. Depression. Right? Depression. I was like, man, I can't believe it's happened again. I've reached the end of DABDA, everyone. I've accepted it. I have accepted it. There's no more hope for me. There's no more hope for this club. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yep.
I'm more embarrassed for me as an Arsenal fan, as an individual person, than the club. Because we know what we are. We're second best. That's what we are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it's going to get to a point where people ain't even going to banter us anymore because they know what we're about. They know what we're about. And
strong disagree, brother. You
still think?
Oh, big fella, we are at the summit of banter era. I mean, like, it is almost like climbing Mount Everest. We are at the fucking peak of banter.
You better hope that these motherfuckers want to stop bantering us because they we are.
No, serious.
Yeah, they're probably waiting in it to the end, waiting just for confirmation.
This is what
they were selling fucking water bottles with Arsenal's fucking logo on it outside the stadium. Manchester City, the club, started bantering us when the title race isn't even over yet. They're already bantering us. You think this is going to be over, bro? This bantering is going to feed grandchildren for some people. This is going to be so fucking bad.
You know,
and the question is how much of that banter is finally going to wake up the fucking fan base?
It's not. The reason we're getting banter is because of the fan base.
Exactly.
If we were humble, right? If we were humble and we said, you know what? We're in 4 competitions. And I said this last night. We're in 4 competitions. We could possibly win them, right? We're in a good position. If we were humble. No, you've got the Christians and the Ties and the Don Robbies coming out saying, quadruple, it's on, we can win everything. They set us up for this. And then the real fans like ourselves have to sit there and hold that.
Yeah,
I've got to hold that. And you know what's crazy? I got the bottle. I told this man, the same one that put the bottle on there, I said 2 months ago, we ain't winning shit. We ain't winning nothing. He was like, no, you gotta have faith in the team. I said, bro, we just threw away the match against the worst Wolves team we've seen. The worst team in the league. We threw it away. And you're expecting us to go to City. You're expecting us to go in the Champions League. You're expecting us to just keep winning? No, bro. It's not happening. It's not. So I was always ready for this. And I'm still getting banter. And I was a realist. I had to tell one of my mates, the Arsenal fan, the other bus driver, I had to convince that guy Arteta's out. He came to me this morning and he said, you know what? I hear what you're talking about now. I said, what changed? Said Manchester City twice. I said, oh, really? So when did I tell you that Arteta wasn't the guy? Oh, yeah, you told me last year. So some guys, but you have to be, the thing with change is you have to be open to change. You have to be open to seeing the folly of your ways. A lot of these Arsenal fans, they're not open to it. Because if you look at the Christians of the world, once Arteta fucks off, he ain't got nothing.
You got that right.
A lot of these guys don't have anything.
As do all of these Arteta sexuals, like just by virtue, because as we know, like it takes a real fucking person. It takes a real fucking person to own up to their mistakes, to be able to find the spine and the stomach to say, you know what, we got this wrong. I apologize for putting yourself and the rest of our fan base through 6.5 years of mediocrity because I was duped. I was fooled. I bought into something that was completely uncredible, and I am sorry. But guess what? You won't hear that from them. Do you know why? Because they are emotionally invested in seeing Arteta be successful.
And they want apologies from you if he is successful.
You're damn fucking right, Abs. So that's why I say, do not think we have left the banter era. Do not think for a second, that we are going to be scot-free, after this summer. No, we are reaching the peak of Mount Banter, and there will be Arteta sexual tears that will be able to replenish the waterways of Africa for generations to come.
You know what I think about when they say apologize? I think about that Conor McGregor. I like to say, to everybody in the back, I like to apologize for absolutely nothing. I ain't apologizing for nothing. I don't feel bad. I don't want to apologize to nobody. Because I said this was coming.
Bro, hold on. None of us need to apologize because these dickheads are already lining up the next fucking jag off that they're going to do the same thing to. These motherfuckers all came out yesterday. No. I'm not fuck apology. Anybody who wants an apology, you can go fuck your mother for all I give a fuck. Stop asking for apologies. No. Because it needs to get disrespectful for people to start fucking realizing that we're just in an endless cycle of bullshit. Because now half these motherfuckers are coming out talking about, Iriola's told Bournemouth he's walking away. Maybe we should go look at Iriola as the manager. Brother, they're already retrying to do the same thing all over again. They want another scumbag manager that got no fucking experience of winning. So it's going to be another 6 years of fucking bullshit for another fucking process, another fucking journey, another fucking, what was the other dumb fuck slogan they've used? No, this is the best one. Pressure is a privilege. Remember that shit?
Jesus.
Remember that shit? When everybody came out with pressure is a privilege? But now we're already talking about another cycle of managers because guess what? Luis Enrique's already come out and said he's extending his contract with PSG. So that ain't fucking happening. You got dickheads out here trying to say that Mikel Arteta's a better manager than Hansi Flick. So a lot of people are already trying to get away from talking about getting Hansi Flick. They're saying Carlo Ancelotti's too fucking old, that he's past his prime. Carlo Ancelotti ain't a good manager no more. He's dusted. So now we're back to now talking about another process, another 6 years. My question is, when is enough enough?
Never.
If you get rid of Arteta and you bring in Iriola, all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable again. That's all you're doing. What are we going to do now? Because the same questions, the same situation that we put ourselves in when Arteta walked in, we're at the same fucking seat. We're at the same problem again. Saka, guess what, everybody? Fuck wait until next year. If it's an Achilles, Saka's contract is going to need to be bought out, and we're going to have to get rid of quote-unquote star boy. We did the math yesterday on my call-in. Ben White, if you take Ben White, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Martin Odegaard, Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Martinelli, Noni Madueke, and who's the other one that I forgot on this one?
Trossard? No, you're
Odegaard?
Noni Madueke,
Ben
White, Martinelli, Trossard, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Jesus, Kai Havertz. All of their combined salaries is $66 million out of $180 million yearly salary that we pay out. Just those 8 guys is $66 million. That's not including if they hit their bonuses. They hit their bonuses at $75 million a year on salary to all them fucking scrubs.
Oof.
We have put ourselves in the same exact situation that we did 6 fucking years ago when this asshole came walking through the fucking door. Just between Odegaard, Jesus, and Saka, we have 3 scumbags that we're going to have to rip up massive amounts of contract money that's going to fuck us going to get transfers to get better quality players to actually have a shot at winning this fucking league. We are back in square one.
I don't know if you guys realize.
If Ben White, Trossard, and Martinelli were to hit bonuses consistently a week, we have 10 players on the books getting paid over £200,000 a week. What have any of these fucking bums done to deserve that amount of money?
You know, and just as well, like as we said last night, you know, like we need to stop calling these, you know, these players. Like what they are financial deadweights. You know, you know, like Madueke, you know, like Timu Gervinho, he is a 90 million pound deadweight.
That's disrespectful to Gervinho, but I hear you.
You're right. It is, and it is, you know, it is a very indirect and, you know, undeserved, you know, like association that Gervinho does not deserve. But to that end, you know, we also got Timu Lacazette like with cheekbones. He is also a financial deadweight. It is indeed. You know, like we also, you know, like we also got. I mean, like we have all of these scrubs that, mind you, Mikel Arteta has demanded. You know, like he had imposed his own desire, because as we know, everyone was telling us Mikel Arteta needs to build his own squad. You know, give him time, he'll cook. Yeah, what he's cooking is, you know, is fucking alleyway grade methamphetamine. You know, like he is cooking drugs in the alleyway. It is an absolute disgrace. Any competent manager with a proven CV, with proven experience in player and game management, they would have only needed half the time and half the money to get over the line in a competition. The fact that Mikel has been given every single GTA 5 cheat code in order to succeed and still has failed, I mean, like, it is completely indefensible. It is indefensible. And again, anyone who is still backing this manager today on 420, happy holidays to everyone in the panel and in the chat. Anyone still backing this today, you have the only agenda. You are the only person that is chatting an agenda, claiming to love a club when you are supporting a manager over the club that you claim to support. It is completely incoherent. It is illogical. And above all else, it is a disgrace. And you have lifetimes of shame to atone for.
What's the future looking like for any of you guys, man? Because is there a possibility that this guy can get sacked if we don't win anything? Or do you think that the contract's been drawn up already that he's going to go for another year?
To tell us everything we need to know about this club, brother. This summer is going to tell us everything that if we lose this trophy, This summer tells us everything we need to know about this.
So, G, you said if. So, is there a little bit of hope in your head, like a 2%, a 3%?
It's a puncher's chance. It's the same thing in boxing. It's a puncher's chance that maybe they could. Listen, I said this coming into the game at the beginning of the week last week and said Manchester City did not look good the first 25 minutes against Chelsea. Chelsea had chances. They weren't clinical enough. The problem was the second half of the game. The second half started and Manchester City pushed Chelsea aside like a big brother does to baby brother and just moved them out of the way. My concern is that Manchester City is already locked in and they're just going to steamroll their way through these last couple games. They don't have Europe to play. They have an FA Cup semifinal to play. Maybe by some luck, they don't pull a domestic treble. They do a double and they tie us on trophies.
Is Rodri not injured though? Is Rodri? Well, that doesn't really matter.
No, does that matter? Nico Gonzalez came on the fucking pitch. Did we even trouble him?
Yeah.
When we scored the fucking goal, Manchester City slowed the game down those 3 minutes. We didn't do a damn thing to make.
Gonzalez is a good player as well. He's a good player as well. So.
And we didn't even make them even think about it, bro. We didn't even make them sweat. The only time we made them sweat was the shot that Havertz shot right at the fucking goalkeeper and the missed header. That's it. We didn't do nothing else to scare that fucking team. So when the season's over, if he wins, he's staying. We all know this. If by some miracle Arsenal win the league, he's staying as a manager. We know this isn't going to fucking change. We know he's staying and the bullshit's getting prolonged next year. We know this is going to happen. If he loses and we walk away with nothing again, this summer is going to tell us everything that we need to know about.
I'm going to be down at Emirates, mate. I'm going to be bringing my plaque and everything, mate. Don't worry about that.
As you should.
But this is going to tell us what this club is. This club is either going to be known as the cash cow, and they don't give a fuck about trophies. They only care about top four and Champions League money so they can pull the money out, which is already what 90% of the fan base thinks about the Kroenkes to begin with. And then the only other thing is if they sack him, if Berta's actually been given the power to do what he needs to do and start winning and he sacks him, then we know that this club is serious going forward. But this summer is going to tell us everything we need to know about this club, bro.
Yeah.
But hold on, G, yeah? Sorry, I want to get everyone involved in this, yeah? Because we've got this person, yeah, here as well, at the helm as well. And he's going to be in the mix as well. Where is he? We've got this guy.
If he's allowed to do his job. If he's allowed to do his job is the question, bro. Here, you know what the first thing I want to know is who's the one that who was the person that initiated the talks to send Nwaneri out on loan? That's the first thing I want to realize about this club. That's the first thing I want to know because I will go get cash out of my fucking shoebox and bet you money. Big up Wahaha. I'm willing to bet money right now that Nwaneri's loan was because of Arteta and Odegaard. Nobody else. Arteta and Odegaard were the ones that forced Nwaneri out.
Yeah, and so with respect to your question, like whether or not this is the final chapter of Arteta, I mean, we can only hope. I mean, I certainly only hope that it's the case. But as Gianni correctly said, like our summer, rather the next few games are really going to dictate, like the future of this club. So personally, I do not believe that if everything was rosy, that Edu would have been sent away, and we would not have brought in someone like Andrea Berta like that. So why I have the belief that the Kroenkes will cut Arteta loose if we do not win silverware is because they would ultimately be. So, like, how, like, for example, like way back in the day, they used to tie like an anchor to someone's ankle and then throw them overseas so that basically they could like drown like underwater. That would be the replication of Kroenkes giving Arteta a new contract if we go without a trophy. They would be putting their own ownership in jeopardy to the point where they may end up being forced to sell the club just because the fan base would be completely sick and tired. Big up, Monty. And
I can't hear.
Can you hear us? Oh, he's coming back.
He's probably going to jump back in.
So, I mean, so just by virtue that, you know, that Berta was brought in, and, you know, like I can see the Cronkies cutting Arteta loose just for their own self-preservation of ownership of this club. But no shadow of a doubt, I mean, like, Arteta needs to go. The Cronkies, they have I mean, like, while they have invested a lot of money into this club over the last 6 years, 6.5 years, like, it is also without saying that they are just as culpable by virtue that they have allowed this mediocrity to fester and continue completely, you know, like, completely unaddressed for so long. So there is a lot of accountability that they need to hold with respect to stewardship, being owners of this football club. And it's also not a great reflection of business acumen investing over £1 billion into a loser novice. With respect to Nwaneri, you know, I've said it, like I've said it before. I think Berta had done an absolute mazza. I think it was a massive coup that we had sent Ethan out on loan just so that he would not be impacted any further more by this manager, that he would be spared the blushes of the nonsense that is currently going on in the dressing room. And I think the club knows that Ethan is a massive talent, so they were trying to preserve him, you know, like for the future. Because otherwise, like, I think if he was still at the club, he would either be benched or he would have been injured at this point. On that note, gents, I actually do have to run, unfortunately.
No problem, man. Big up to you, man.
You know, thank you very much for having me. Absolutely good panel and chat. And all I can say is, you know, Arteta out, Kroenke out, Arteta sexual is out. The grift is over. All right, it's done and over with. You know, find a new career, find a new hobby. I don't give a shit. You know, like, but your time making money off this club is done. Hasta luego.
Big up,
Dr. S, man. Manny's in the building, man. It's been a while, my bro. I like to get Manny's feelings on the season so far, especially yesterday's game as well. Because as I said to these guys earlier, I really felt that. You know, I just felt drained. I'm tired. It's just the same old thing. If I look back at my previous videos, year upon year, I'm saying the same thing. Saying the same thing over and over. What's your thoughts?
I mean, you know, a good friend of ours always talks about pattern recognition. What we're seeing here, Don, is the same thing that had gone on in 22-23. That was also, ironically, a World Cup year, although, you know, it wasn't quite the World Cup year we think it was. But then it just goes to show that we just never learn our lessons. I love what the doctor said about how it's stupid and irresponsible business acumen to invest that much money in a bloke who clearly doesn't know what he's doing. And I always say, if you give a bad carpenter a good set of tools, he's still going to muck everything up. In stark contrast, you give a good carpenter a set of tools that probably aren't quite as cutting edge, pun intended, he's still going to be able to turn sow's ears into silk purses. And we're seeing that with another club in the Premiership right now. And that manager is no one else but our former manager, who was unceremoniously drummed out. And what angers me so much is that we're seeing the same things being done again and again and again, and no attempt to try to learn. And when you have a manager who is so arrogant and unrepentant and unwilling to deviate from his path and change his ways, you know that's a recipe for disaster. It's a guy who, what we have here is a chap who refuses to evolve either as a person, as a manager, or a tactician. And when you see that things aren't going right, you've got to make a change. Now, people might say, well, wait a minute. You know, we played some really good attacking football 2 or 3 seasons prior, and we still didn't win anything. So don't you think it made more sense to have him adopt a different approach? Well, I would say in that case that he pretty much, defecated the bed in many ways, because we're still not close to winning anything. And what hurts me so much about this season, I don't know if Gianni or Gunnar will remember this famous children's program called Lizzie McGuire starring Hilary Duff. There was an episode of that where this really good-looking boy who just happens to be an absolute dunce by the name of Ethan Kraft, I think he was, it's like, I don't know, he had one line. He said, "I thought I was going to have 2 wives, and now I have none." So these fans thought they were going to be celebrating 4 titles, and now they could end up with none. And these fans are every bit as bad as that character in that television program.
Did you see Martin Keown this morning? Martin Keown said that Arsenal bit off more they can chew by trying to win all 4 trophies. Bitch, a month ago you were just talking about the quad. Shut the fuck up, you ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't shag your secret lover Arteta behind the scenes, because that's what's going on here.
By any chance, was he speaking to Simon Jordan on TalkSport?
Yes.
Did Simon Jordan roast him?
Simon Jordan took that man behind the shed like Old Yeller. that man, seriously, bro. Martin Keown and Arteta are hooking up. You cannot convince me of it that they're not doing this. This dude had the balls to say that we bit off more than we could chew, going for all these other trophies, when he was one of the loudest people talking about this team could be generational. This is the same fucking idiot that said that I'd see Arsenal going on a 10-year period of dominance with this manager at the helm if he gets over the fucking line. He said all that bullshit. Oh, the quad is on. Same thing with Ian Wright. And as soon as the League Cup was done, oh, we got bigger fish to fry. Oh, we do. You were the one that was back in this whole quadruple run. And now all of a sudden, oh, we don't need it. As soon as the FA Cup, we don't need the FA Cup. The constant goalpost moving has to stop. It
Absolutely.
has to stop. This is the only big club that has fans that allows this shit.
We're talking about big content creators that are saying these things as well, Johnny. Yeah, we're talking about big content creators. We're gonna do the quad, and now all of a sudden, now it's quiet.
Brother,
and that's the thing.
It went quiet because these guys are just like this fucking club. Everybody wants rights, but no responsibilities. Nobody wants to take any fucking action when they've lost. Everybody now wants to be quiet. Oh, maybe if I'm quiet long enough, we'll wait for the next buzzword to come out and we'll pick up again in 2 fucking days and we'll forget what happened at the weekend. That's how these guys move, bro. That's how these guys move. Remember, everybody was yelling the quad was on, and as soon as the League Cup final was over, everybody, we don't really care about it.
You know what the new buzzwords are? You know what the new buzzwords were?
Injuries.
Back-to-back semifinals.
Yeah.
Back-to-back semifinals, yeah. That's the new buzzword.
Yeah.
That's the new buzzword.
Again, who does that, bro? Who does that?
Yeah.
You got a joint in Turkey. Will the Galatasaray fans allow Galatasaray to go on 6 years without winning trophies?
Hell no.
Will Fenerbahce? Will Besiktas? That's not okay with none of them teams. Go to Italy. You already know how the ultras get down in Italy. We're in the news every fucking week for stupid shit. You think Inter, Milan, or Juve is going to allow that? You think Bayern Munich's going to allow that? You think PSG is going to allow that? Fuck no. None of these teams are doing that. Bro, the Atleti fans, the only reason why they're getting on to Diego Simeone is because it's been 5 years that they haven't won a trophy with him. That's the only reason why they're getting on to him. And Simeone deserves all the leeway because he's the most famous person in that club's history, both player and manager. So it is what it is with him. He's the only one you can compare to. Diego Simeone and Pep Guardiola are the only 2 managers that have not been sacked from their positions while Arteta's been here for 6 years. They're the only 2. You look at the trophy haul that these motherfuckers have. Like I said before, if Pep Guardiola pulls off this domestic treble, Manchester City factually is the 3rd biggest team in England now. We are no longer the third biggest team in England if he pulls off this domestic treble. That's why I said all these pussies that have been pussyfooting around for 6 years, not telling the truth about this fucking bum as a manager, he is about to allow us to fall from the third biggest club in England to the fourth biggest club in England because of lack of winning the domestic cups or any of these fucking trophies. Not to mention the even more uncomfortable conversation, which this is Manny's specialty to talk about this. Unai Emery, on a third of the fucking money, is possibly going to win a Europa League and win more trophies at Aston Villa than this asshole did with a fucking billion. Where's all these that were talking shit?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when Emery beat us to win his last Europa League title, they dismissed it saying, well, he's managing in Spain is his speciality, as you say. I mean, I kind of resent being told it's my speciality.
Real quick, Manny, I don't mean to cut you off, right? But guess what? He also did. This dumb motherfucker Arteta copied what he did against Emery. Does everybody remember when this stupid motherfucker started Emil Smith Rowe as a false nine, moved Aubameyang to the left wing?
Yeah.
And in the second leg, what did he do? Aubameyang started, hit the post, was the only person that looked like they were threatening, and what did he do? He took him off. Anybody see the result? He took Eze off when he was the only one going forward and hit the fucking post.
History repeats.
Midfielder that you have, he does the same fucking shit a couple years afterwards. The man has lost the plot. He has to fucking go.
I agree completely, but then you are going to have some people who defend him. In fact, I'm a bit surprised that it isn't Ray Parlour who's, secretly shagging Arteta on the side because Parlour's divorced,
He might be the other side chick. He owns number one.
Yeah. And then you see, there's also no coincidence that most of these, old English Arsenal legends who are from the George Graham era, they should know better because they actually played in a more successful era and they know what it meant to win trophies. And George Graham quite literally defecates over Arteta. So take that, all you nonsense who see it fit to call Mikel Arteta the second coming of George Graham. You know who you are. I'm not going to debase myself by saying your name.
Did you guys see the content that guys were pulling out that this game is going to, that once Arsenal wins, that the game yesterday was going to be bigger than the 89 victory at Anfield?
No, hell no.
Say that.
Who said that?
Who was it? Egal said it's the same thing.
Oh my. Listen, that's disrespectful, man.
Bro, it's blasphemous all around what these idiots are talking about with this team. He owns the same guy that said Martin Odegaard's a better player or on the same level as Liam Brady. The fuck you talking about here?
Yeah. Speaking of Keon, sorry, go ahead, brother.
Can we? I just want to point out some things. Firstly, we can all tell that Gianni is not a happy man. It's the Italian. We see it. We hear it. There's a lot of F-bombs. There's enough F-bombs to fill up Lake Michigan. But
sorry about
that.
If you look at social media, right? All of the so-called Arteta lovers and Arteta sexuals, they've all pivoted. Now they're saying, "Oh my God, you know what? It's just football. I've got so many other things going on in life. It's so great that I live in a first world country, and the worst thing that's happened to me this week is that Arsenal lost." Bro, shut up. You're an Arsenal content creator. Shut up.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rican.
I just want to go on there and say, you look goofy as hell. You look goofy. You're an Arsenal content creator. So yes, we know there's bigger things in football. There's things going on in the world. But guess what? You comment on football and your takes suck.
And you make money off football.
Exactly. You make money off of, you know what? They always say, oh, you guys make money off of the pain of the club. Guess how much I get paid for doing YouTube? Not a damn thing.
You pay YouTube. You pay YouTube.
I got to pay for StreamYard. I got to pay for this laptop. I had to pay for a webcam.
Electricity.
I don't make nothing.
Broadband.
But the Christians going on Hot Sport and BBC talking about, I think the quad is on. Oh, yeah, you know, Rodri's not that good. Oh, City don't look that great.
Yeah, speaking of social media, Don, with your permission,
I'm worried about Man United. I'm more worried about Man United for the title than Man City.
Goofy.
Yeah.
Go on,
But
man.
anyway, Don, with your permission, I'd just like to share one tweet from someone who, doesn't pivot and who tries to gaslight a lot of us. Let me see this guy right here. Yeah, this guy. We're going to continue on this theme about Martin Keown, yeah? So if you can see that, I don't know if you see this, just hold on, please. Yep, this is the tweet right here. Yeah, this is the tweet. Martin Keown. Let me read this. Proper Arsenal. Be an Arsenal supporter worth playing for. Be like Martin Keown. It's not over. Let's get our heads down and work. Let City celebrate. Let them pop the champagne. We're going to do our part and let fate take its course. We're still in contention for a Premier League and Champions League double, which would be absolutely historic. So you either get behind the team or bugger off. Come on, you Gunners. And this is my response. They're not popping the champagne, you effing idiot. They're delighted with the result, but they're smart enough to know that it's not over. They're determined to finish on a high while we're breaking down in April once again. Consider us the April Fools, if you like. If they go on to win this league and possibly a domestic treble, they deserve it. And as for Martin Keown, he can go do one.
Have you noticed too that the Arsenal legends are changing? Like Ian Wright was playing with Mikel Arteta's skin flute for like the last couple months, and now he's like, you know what? I don't think he works for the club anymore. If he does, with the whole Adidas thing, I think he's taking a step back. But the one person that I give 100% credit for being himself through and through is Thierry Henry. That man's been calling out Arteta's BS.
Vieira too.
Yeah, Vieira as well.
And don't forget Tony Adams. Don't forget Tony Adams.
Oh, yeah. But Tony Adams, you know what? I didn't watch Tony Adams. I have read his book. Also about the other one. That's what I'm currently reading.
Oh, nice.
Right. That guy's a proper guy, right? He's a proper captain. If he's coming out, and this is the thing, this was the problem I always had with that argument. Oh, Tony Adams doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a failed manager. He's not talking about Mikel Arteta, the manager. He's talking about Martin Odegaard being the worst captain he's seen. The guy who wore the armband, won the double, did this, armpits. How many times have we seen Martin Odegaard's armpits? Oh, we've seen him a lot because he does this a lot. This is the entire match. I want to do a hair flick counter one day. Just rewatch a whole match and just focus on Martin Odegaard's hair flicks, right? We're talking about a guy who's led Arsenal through good times and bad times. When we were playing with George Graham, when we were playing early Wenger, when nobody really rated him, when we were trying to go invincible, we're trying to win everything. And he's telling you Martin Odegaard's not the guy. But you got Arsenal fans saying, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's the one qualified person. He's the one qualified person to say. Now, if he was talking about Mikel Arteta, as the manager, you'd say, yeah, okay. He wasn't the greatest manager, but that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about our captain. Yesterday, our captain, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I don't know what day it was. But our captain, bro, the guy ducked out of challenges. Your captain is ducking out of 50-50s. And it's not the first time.
Nope.
I mean, we saw him dancing at Aston Villa. Bro, I was on my phone in the middle of Croydon. In the mall. I was like, I got to watch this game. I watched him doing the hokey pokey in the middle of Aston Villa's field. He was river dancing on Aston Villa's pitch. And we wondered why we didn't win. And
he wasn't river dancing. He was doing the in-betweeners dance. Don knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know,
there was a meme of that.
I know that as well.
Yeah.
But that's our captain, man. And then this manager, and I said yesterday when I was on Waffle Don, I would have given him 100% credit for the first half if he had made the right substitution. As it hits the post, he's making things happen, and we keep this scrub on because he's the captain. Oh, one more thing, and I'll shut up. So last week, this man looked us in our ocular sockets, right, the two eyeballs, and told us that the players picked Declan Rice as the captain. What the hell happened this week? Did they we don't want him as the captain? You're full of crap, right? You picked Declan Rice as the captain because you wanted him to keep playing. Declan Rice ain't fit. But you wanted someone to say, here you go, you're the scapegoat, right? And as soon as your love child, Martin Odegaard, came back, Guess what? He was in the starting line. This guy just come back from injury, and you put him the biggest game of our season. And what did he do? 2 good passes the entire match that I can remember off the top of my head. Other than that, the usual sideways, ducking out of challenges. Bro, come on. Like, why are we doing? We can see the favorites. Zubamendi, why the hell was he on the pitch? Got it.
Talk about it.
Absolute trash. You know, not even no Madueke is what I call that guy. That
So do
bro,
I.
that guy couldn't hit. I'm telling you, he could not hit water if he fell off the Titanic. He would just float like the iceberg.
90 million
Trash.
pounds. 90 million pounds for
Trash.
that piece of shit.
And then you take him off and you put Gabe Martin on there as well. His name's not Gabriel Martin. His name's Gabe Martin. That guy is from Norwich. He's from I don't know, Cambridge. He's from Reading. He is not from Brazil. Check that man's passport. He is not from Brazil.
Mhm.
Right? And big up, Mateo. And that's the last thing I wanted to say. I promise,
Facts.
right?
He's facts.
We keep talking about Manchester City overtaking us and being a big club. I don't think we're a big club anymore. I think we're boarding to top 4 mid-table. And people don't want to have that conversation.
Yep.
But we keep talking about big club, big club. Big clubs don't keep their manager when they don't win. Real Madrid sacked them. Bayern Munich sacked them. Gianni knows. Inter Milan, AC Milan, even Napoli. Napoli say this shit ain't good. Done. Sevilla are 15th in La Liga. That's my team. We've already had 3 managers. Sack them. It's not good enough. But we're okay with competing. Guess what? Real Madrid won everything. They finished second this year. Second. Everybody's going.
Yeah.
But us, we're okay with it. We're not a big club.
Let me ask the question though. Yeah, sorry to cut you.
No,
we have to see out the rest of the season anyway. Yeah, so we've got a big game against Newcastle. This is still a big game because we still have to win our games regardless. Yeah? How are you guys seeing the Newcastle game pan out? Now we can have our negative heads consistently, but how do you see this game playing out? Do you think Arteta's gonna keep the same team? Is he gonna change it around again? What's he gonna do in this game?
No, he's playing the same way. The same team that you saw at City is how he's going to play the remainder of the season. That's what we're going to see.
Can we beat Newcastle that way?
No.
We won't. Our mentality's gone. You remember when we were going for the title and we played Newcastle and what was his name? Joe Willock was doing the Michael Jackson on us and dish ragging us, bro. It's not a quality thing, Waffle. It's not a quality thing. It's a mentality thing. At this point, the 4 of us could go out there and score on them fools because their mentality's not there.
Mentality's shot, bro. The mentality of the team is shot. Gabriel,
so you don't think they can beat Newcastle on Saturday?
I think we'll draw. I think that'll be enough for us to lose.
The only way we can win all these games is if we score first. If we don't score first in any of these games, there's not enough offense. Whether it's Odegaard and the Havertz shit show or it's back to limiting Gyökeres to try to do the false 9 bullshit, whichever way you want to put it, there's not enough offense going forward for this fucking team.
When's the last time we scored more than 2 goals? Does anybody remember?
Well, not only that, when was the last time we scored 2 goals and weren't letting one in? Because the defense ain't shutting shit down like it used to anymore.
I called them the clean sheet crew. Ever since then, diabolical. The slide twins. All they do is slide. Bro, Gabriel for that first goal. Bro, foul him if you have to.
Outside the box. What you backpedaling for? He knew.
You know what I'm saying?
Cherokee slowed. Watch Cherokee's pace, dribbling the ball outside the box before he went in the box. In the box, he went to half the speed because he knew if somebody touched him, Cherokee was going down at the position where he was at to get a penalty. They were shook, bro. If you're going to commit the foul outside the box and risk the fucking free kick. Don't just let him. Bro, what was different between Cherokee than Aiden Hazard spinning Coquelin? What was different about their fucking goal? Nothing.
Can someone tell me how much Cherokee costs and how much Madueke costs?
Madueke is a 90 million pound player. We are not doing transfer fees anymore. We are including salaries because
how much is Cherokee?
We're going to start fucking letting people know.
What's Cherokee then? Cherokey's on what?
Cherokee was 27.5 million euros. With bonuses, he's 30 million euros.
So So
if you go on the stock market right now and look at the exchange rate from the pound to the euro, Noni Madueke's transfer fee of 52.5 million pounds is 60 million euros. You could have got any combination of Lookman and fucking Cherokee, or Lookman and Alex Baena from Atletico Madrid. Any combination of them three, you could have got two of them for the price of one. Everything about this club is stupid. The bigger conversation is, and I want to go back to what Gunnar was talking about, that we're slipping down is the mentality of the team. Who's staying? This is the bigger conversation that needs to be had, because everybody just thinks we can just walk all around. First of all, I'm going to tell you this right now because I've already seen it watching City on, seeing Juventus. If we're already trying to get maximum profit on our younger players, there's a financial problem creeping around the corner, whether anybody likes it or not. Whether anybody likes it or not, there is a financial problem creeping around the corner that's going to affect us when it comes to transfers. Now, it would be easier, but we went through this last night on my call, and we said 12 players. Manny, I think you were on for that. We were talking about the players we would keep. We said we would keep 12 players from this squad. Of that 12, half of them could go anywhere they want to go in Europe if they get a call to start looking to go win fucking trophies. Let's break it down. What team does Gabriel Magalhaes or Saliba not get into if they get sick of it? Saliba's been here for 7 fucking years.
He's going to want to go Real Madrid.
Saliba didn't bang
No
it.
trophies.
No trophies, 7 years. He wasn't here for the FA Cup. He was on loan at Marseille. If he didn't bang and the whole fucking country of France wasn't talking about how he was the best player in the French league that year, he'd have sold his ass. Just like he's done with all the other youth talent that we've had that he hasn't want to try to develop to make better players to limit the amount of money that we've spent. So that's Saliba. You don't think if PSG runs back-to-back, you don't think Luis Enrique will come to Arsenal and be like, Saliba, stop fucking around. Come home and come win another treble. We're going to try to do 3 trebles in a row. Same thing with Gabriel Magalhaes.
We can only hold Real Madrid off for so long. We can only hold them off for so long. They've been eyeing Saliba. If I'm Kylian Mbappe, I'm like, bro, do you want to wreck your hamstrings with this scrub, or you want to come and win everything? We're a couple defenders away from being a Real Madrid that wins everything. Right? We got calamitous defenders. Come and be the cornerstone. Be our Sergio Ramos. Bro, if I'm looking at that, I'm like, do I stick through another process? Because, and good point, Gianni, regardless of whether this guy stays or not, if we get another manager and it's not a Carlo Ancelotti and it's not, it's not going to be Enrique now. So it's not Carlo or it's not Diego Simeone. Bro, these guys don't want to sit through another rebuild.
Exactly.
When the Real Madrid's going to go, they'll probably get Carlo back, to be fair, as a stopgap, maybe, who knows, but they'll get a top class manager and they'll say, you know what, we'll win. Because Real Madrid win every season or the manager is gone. There's no losing. You know what I'm saying? So
not only that, with talking about that, but here's the other problem. Even if you get a top quality manager, there needs to be a serious conversation. And even if you get a Carlo Ancelotti, what are really the odds that we're going to pull it off the next year? It's probably a 2-year run with a top quality manager to see the major honors. You may have to hope for just the League Cup or the FA Cup next year if you get a top quality manager.
Is that what we spent $1 billion for?
Brother, look at the injuries. Look at the injuries. We don't know what's going on with Timber. For all we know, Timber and Saka could have the same Achilles problem. If that's the case, they're both gone for a year. And you ain't going to be able to sell injured players. So they could possibly both be gone. What's the injury situation with Saliba with his ankle? He hasn't been healthy the whole year since the Liverpool game, since the 3rd game of the fucking season. Declan Rice has either got a bad back, got an Achilles that's going to blow, a hamstring that's ready to be torn, or all 3 together. Declan Rice is not the same player. Zubimendi, we still got 5 games left to go in this season. Zubimendi has already surpassed his maximum amount of minutes played in a season, and his knee's already fucking up. All the injuries combined and dead weight, how much do you really think we're going to have a shot at winning? Because the biggest problem here is the City side that isn't filled with all the winners that we're used to doing everything now may get the fucking taste of winning. And now you're starting all over again with a young cycle of City that could go on and fucking win consistently again now. That is the problem that we are looking at here. Because what convinces you Carlo Ancelotti comes in? Is Carlo Ancelotti automatically going to make Odegaard a world beater, or are we going to have to accept the fact that we're going to have to pay off Odegaard to get rid of him? If you look at Odegaard, Havertz, and Gabriel Jesus, just those three players, if nobody's going to come in to buy these players, which you're going to have to take a loss on either way, whether we like it or not, you're talking about 40 million pounds you're already going to lose just buying those three off with their salaries. You're already out 40 million. You still got to pay, another 45, 50 million for Hincapié? So you're pretty much out 100 million before you even got any of your prize money if we're going to be serious about revamping this team. You're already out 100 million. You got to buy Hincapié. You got to get rid of Jesus. You got to get rid of Odegaard. You got to get rid of Havertz. Nobody is going to, all these fucking idiots, remember, they were trying to say they're going to sell Odegaard for 80 million pounds. Ain't nobody coming to buy him for that. You'll be lucky if you get 30 million pounds for that fucking scrub. Nobody is coming in to buy those three players for any types of money with that crazy amount of money.
How have we gone from there? How have we gone from there, losing to Man City to...
Bro, because this was the season to win. This was the season to win. Half of our squad may be at a World Cup. There's no guarantee they're coming back healthy from a World Cup. And there's no guarantee that the people who may miss the World Cup are going to be healthy and ready to go coming into this season. Because it's a shortened season again, as far as your time to fucking get breaks. The only hope that we have is that some of these national team managers are saying, sorry, you can't play this World Cup because you're injury prone. There's no way Thomas Tuchel. The rule of the law, if your player gets hurt on international duty and the injury from internationals is directly responsible for internationals, and that it's going to cost you more than 6 weeks of injury, the international teams have to pay their wages until they come back from healthy. You think Thomas Tuchel is going to be responsible for over £500,000 a week being paid out for Saka and Rice? No.
That was why he sent them back home, Johnny. He sent them back home for that same reason.
Exactly. He ain't going to do it at the World Cup either. So now you have to hope that these two guys are going to be healthy after being ran into the ground the last 2 years, that they're going to be healthy and ready to go for this next season. There is nothing.
Renewal contracts as well. Rice is going to want 300.
Exactly.
Havertz is going to want a bit more.
And if Havertz gets his extension with Arteta, we're going to have three players on 300 grand.
Oh,
we're going to have Saka, Havertz, and fucking Rice. So again, this is a multi-complex thing that this dickhead of a manager has ran us into again. If we don't win the fucking league, we're right back at square one, like when this asshole came walking through the door. It's the same shit.
Yeah, and that sort of segues, Johnny, into what you and I were talking about on the stream last night. And Waffle, you could also get your opinion in, and Rican, you could also say something about this. We like to lecture a great deal about how some other clubs are not very well financially run. You take a look at clubs like Aston Villa, the reason why they're in trouble with PSR is because they have a bit of a high revenue to wage turnover. And then, of course, you've got other clubs who have so much debt. But then you take a look at the insane amount of money that we're paying for, players to come in, and how much more we're also shelling out in terms of salaries. It's a shock that we haven't really been in trouble with PSR yet. But I remember Kenny Ken Spears saying on another stream to me that we might end up having to pay a huge tax bill. And Gianni also said in his stream last night that because we're making the same mistakes that Juventus made back in the day, we could very well end up running the risk of, being plunged into financial hardship ourselves. So we're in no position to throw stones from our own glass houses. What say you on that, gentlemen, before we wrap up?
Look at real quick. Look at Tottenham. Look at what the stadium fee did to them when they weren't buying any players and they were buying somebody a bare minimum just to hope. That's what we're going to have to hope for.
They don't pay crazy wages, those Spurs.
Oh, really? Conor Gallagher's on 200 grand a week. Conor Gallagher ain't no 200 grand, but that motherfucker couldn't get 80.
No.
But I mean, hey, again, we can't throw stones. Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, soon to be Declan Rice. As I said, we're shelling out money like there's no tomorrow, and sooner or later we're gonna have to pay. We're gonna have to literally pay for it.
So the Alvarez talk and all this kind of stuff.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
So our issue that we have is we're basically in a worse position than when Arteta took over, because what they've done is they've brought these mediocre players in. They've trebled, quadrupled their wages in the hope that we would win the league, in the hope that we would win the Champions League. Yep. Now that we haven't done it, we have an inflated wage bill with players who are now broken because our manager won't rotate them. So who's going to buy Gabriel Jesus? Who's going to buy Martinelli? Who's going to buy Leandro Trossard? Who's going to buy Nani Madueke? Who's going to buy Havertz? Nobody. You're not going to pay $265 to Gabriel Jesus. So you have to eat that. So we got to eat all. We're going to end up eating a lot of contracts because Arteta and Edu, right? I'm leaving Berta out of this. Arteta and Edu have given these inflamed contracts, hoping that his ego would win us out, and we haven't, right? So I think we're screwed either way, man. We have to win this Premier League.
Wow, man!
If we do not win this Premier League, we're done for.
Financially, the Champions League is more important now than the Premier League is.
Can we win the Champions League? Can we get to the final? Can we at least get to the final?
We can get to a final, but be prepared for PSG or Bayern to hang 5 on our ass.
Yeah, but we getting dish ragged.
What did you see here? What did you see yesterday in the Manchester City game that tells you that we're going to stop? We're going to stop Farah Dembele or Doué. The only bit of good news, if you're talking about Bayern, is Serge Gnabry got hurt over the weekend. He's done for the season.
Okay.
Gnabry's done for the season. And he's been massive for Bayern this year. He's been balling out again.
Yeah, and I think Vintinia, I think he's out injured as well. So
yeah, but he's 3 weeks. He'll be ready for the final if they get there.
But guys, I've got to wrap up now, because the missus is calling me for my old dinner now. Newcastle, we've got to beat these guys on Saturday. I know it's false hope right now, but we still want to win our games, I suppose. But it just means nothing.
We got to score, though, brother. We got to score.
Yeah.
Even if we win, the worst part about yesterday is it's not in our hands anymore. Despite what anybody says, it's not in our hands. If
Gyökeres starts Saturday?
Huh?
Gyökeres got to start on Saturday.
He has to.
But he won't.
100%.
But he won't. I'm willing to bet you it's going to be the same team that you saw against City is going to start the game against Newcastle. I'm willing to bet you Gyökeres does not start the rest of the season.
You don't think Timber's going to be back?
Nope.
And you know the worst part is
updated us on what Timber's injury is. We don't even know what his injury is.
But the worst part is, from a Newcastle point of view, it's the return of Bruno Guimaraes. That midfield of theirs looked so, lightweight without him. But if he comes back, he's literally going to have rice for lunch. Pun intended.
Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap on that, man. People, make sure you slap up the likes. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channels. They'll be in the description.
Waffle, just briefly, what's on the menu tonight?
I think I got fish,
Beautiful. Enjoy yourself.
Some smoked haddock. I think the missus is going to, I don't know. She's probably going to put some spinach or some kind of whatever. I don't know what she's going to do.
I'm having Arsenal tears.
And that's how you put the soul in soul food. I love it. Bon appetit.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
Exactly.
What
about you, G? Yeah, I know Johnny likes a nice little, Italian mezze and what mix up and that. What you got tonight?
I'm making vodka sauce.
You making what?
Vodka sauce.
Is that red thing? Tomato-y vodka and
it's a tomato. Yeah, I'm making rigatoni sausage with vodka sauce.
Look at you. What about you, GR? What you got?
I ate already, but I'm gonna make because I got a meal prep. I'm trying to get sexy for next summer when we actually do win the league. I'm making tortellini and steak.
Wow, nice. What about you, Manny? You eating already or? I
might actually sort of have something a little bit light. My my family's South Indian, so
Yeah.
one of our specialities is these, really delicious, quick, snack-like items which can be eaten as main meals. Specifically, these little crepe-like pancakes, which are made from a sort of a sourdough-like batter. You spread them thinly, you shallow fry them, and you eat them with whatever stew or curry you like. That is literally, that hits the spot. I love cooking Western food. Italian food is also another love of mine. I've also learned how to make a really good risotto. I don't know if Johnny will like that as a Naples boy. I know pizza rules the roost over there, but risotto, that hits the spot too.
When I go out, that's what when I go to my place, it's one of the 3 dishes I normally get. They get it's a full lobster tail. It's lobster risotto.
Ooh, you lucky so-and-so. That's gonna
Do you know what I want, Johnny? Yeah, you know the cheese when they mix the spaghetti in the cheese, that big cheese thing.
Cacio pepe.
Yeah, the parmesan.
Oh, I need that, man. I need that.
You know how much one of them wheels of cheese cost?
How much?
Like $2,000.
What?
Yeah. It's like $2,000 to get their fucking thing. But cacio
That's the
pepe
price you pay.
Yeah, that's the price.
I suppose Arteta's eating that like easy. He's throwing out some money. He's probably got one in his house.
Probably with 15 million pounds. It sure as hell ain't being shown on the fucking field.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap up. Yeah, thanks a lot for everyone joining. I'm literally gonna go. Yeah, because my missus got the food ready. But listen, we're gonna have this conversation again. You going live, Johnny, tonight or?
Yeah, later tonight I'm going live.
I might drop in, pay some respects and everything. And big up to Manny for
it's another call-in show. Hop on. You guys are all more than welcome. You
big
guys
up Johnny every time. Big up Gunarican as well. Anyway, people, we're out. Yeah, I think the plate's coming. Big up to everyone.
Yeah, you gotta eat. Go and eat.
Yeah, I'm going. Mrs. Anyway, big up people.